Corley, can I just thank all members for their contributions, and can I thank my officials here to my right and all the civil servants working from the department who have helped prepare for this, but also have studiously taken note of all the comments that have been made and the contributions from the members across the various different parties. Can I begin by saying that rumours of my demise have been greatly exaggerated, and just to put that on the record, and indeed my predecessors. But notwithstanding that, on a more serious note here, just to acknowledge, look, nobody has a monopoly of wisdom on the right thing to do in mental health. We all acknowledge collectively that we've come a long way in our recognition of it and our ability to destigmatise it and our ability to speak more freely about mental health and the challenges that are there. CAMHS is one particular specialist service within the mental health. There's a multitude of other services and range of services and deliveries available under mental health as well, but CAMHS is the one that affects young people and attracts a lot of attention. And I did say in my opening speech that I met with the CHO leads and the clinical leads of the 9 CAMHS teams, the 9 CHOs. I think it was last week, in the last week or 10 days, and I did say to him that I would not do a waiting list initiative, that I would much prefer to deal with the structural challenges that exist within mental health and try and address those. And we have made very significant progress on those, and I think they are the key to the future. And I think it's worth deputies' time to inform themselves of some of the changes that are happening and to become more aware. And to that end, I did hold a briefing in the AV room in November last year, and I think it was very helpful. It certainly was for me, very, very helpful, and it allowed the deputies that did attend and the senators to question some of the department officials and the HSE officials and get more accurate information. I mean, there was a contribution made here today that spoke about telepsych and telepsychiatry and telepsychology as speaking to a robot on a screen. Now, that level of ignorance, to be honest, it isn't helpful, and people should make an effort before commenting on some specific initiatives to at least inform themselves, and that's not universal. That's a very isolated incident. Most people take more care, I think, to research what they're talking about. We have 3 specific proposals that I hope to advance in the coming year. One is the telepsychology and psychiatry. That's not a silver bullet, as I said in my opening, but it does offer alternatives to the recruitment issue, because we cannot keep going around the house and saying that we have a recruitment problem. We have to look at new ways of delivering mental health care. The mental health phone line training is going to begin on that in the 7th of February, where out in the National Ambulance Service we will have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week phone line service that will be manned by professionally qualified mental health people. There is a demand there already. There's up to about 800 calls a month, I gather, going into the National Ambulance Service which are related to mental health, that they don't have really any particular expertise to deal with, and sending an ambulance is not the answer, unless maybe in a very tiny minority of those cases. So we will have appropriately trained people taking those calls 24 hours a day, referring people to services. There's over 1,000, I think 1,027 different services being funded by the HSE in mental health, but a lot of people don't know where they are or how to access them. The other fundamental thing we're doing is building a lower level of infrastructure. That's how I refer to it, underneath CAMHS, and we've made significant progress on that. Last year we hired 114 assistant psychologists, 20 psychologists, and we need to continue to build on that. And Deputy Mick Wallace makes a lot of very interesting points there about over-medicalisation of mental health, which is an extremely interesting area to be approaching, but also on psychotherapy and talking therapies, and the importance of bringing them in and early intervention and supporting them through primary care. And we are making significant progress on that to build that level underneath CAMHS, because there is an over-reliance on CAMHS, and a lot of people don't need to be going to CAMHS that are being referred up to CAMHS. They could be more appropriately seen, but in the lack of alternatives, they're being sent to CAMHS. And that is the key to, I think, successfully dealing with the waiting lists that are at CAMHS, is decreasing our reliance on it. We're also going to open up a crisis text line this year, which will be international evidence has shown it works very, very well, and that is something that's going to be very interesting, where young people, I think, are much happier to text, and they're more free to text and will more likely do it and even pick up the phone or certainly approach a mental health professional. And we have to make sure that we roll that out successfully, but I think we will, and we'll make a lot of progress on that. So there are some of the digital platforms. We'll also roll out CBT. But look, I don't have time here, Count Corley, to go into all of the refresh of the Vision for Change policy. Can I make one point on the whole Vision for Change? It was an extraordinarily ambitious document launched in 2006, and we can't forget what happened after 2006 in this country, and economically, where an economy crashed. We had 3 or 4 or 5 years lost, and in 10 years it has achieved an awful lot. I would often make the point that if Sláintecare report over 10 years achieves anything like a vision for change achieves, we'll have a very, very successful healthcare. We have a long way to go. I'm the first in with that. We don't want to have waiting lists anywhere. We want more and more people to reach out for the services, and we do not want them to be discouraged by waiting lists. So we want to tackle that. But structural reform is the way. There isn't a quick fix or an easy solution to those. But again, Count Corla, just to thank all members for their contribution, and I hope to have more engagement maybe in the AV room in another month or two, and invite members again where we can have more question and answer type sessions. But thank you, Count Corla, for your leadership and your facility of this today as well. Much appreciated.
All right,